Hi guys, this is Nadya Andreeva, the author of Happy Belly, Women's Guide to Feeling Vibrant, Light, and Balanced. And this is Happy Belly interview series where I'm interviewing favorite experts, digestive, wellness, health, and Ayurvedic chefs as well. And today I have Pamela Quinn, who is a good friend, a specialist of cleansing, and she also has an incredible story of transformation of how she basically changed her entire life from being a stay-at-home mom to completely leaving her comfortable life and basically creating a wellness and yoga center, revamping her values, revamping her lifestyle, and also revamping her health. So today we're going to explore how she did it, what she learned, and what she can help you understand better. So thank you, Pamela, for being with us.
Thank you.
So let's get straight to the happy belly question.
Sure.
How do you know if your belly is happy? What does that mean for you?
Oh, okay. Well, a happy belly to me is I am feeling energetic and I'm vibrant and my head is clear. So I'm thinking, I'm able to concentrate, I'm able to focus. And that would be kind of the quickest ways I would know that my digestion was actually tanking. Because, a lot of times, like we're in this industry of healthy eating. So a lot of times I'm eating really, really, really healthy and I appear to be doing all the right things, but my energy will go off and I'll feel wrong. I'll feel different. It's almost this idea that I'm turning my food into poison in my body somehow. So generally when I'm not clear, I can go back through my day or the last 24 hours and I can figure out, what it is I either overconsumed or if I skipped a meal or something like that. So for me, that's probably the quickest way to know. The other thing I notice is, and I hate to be so direct, but, when you get up in the morning, that's when you should eliminate.
Yeah.
And so if I get up, usually when I get up, I drink a glass of water that's been sitting by my bed overnight. So it's room temperature. I'll wake up. First thing I do is drink the glass of water and then I go into the restroom. And if I don't eliminate, if it's sluggish, if it's, not the classical perfect poo as described by Dr. Frawley,
Yeah.
I will sit and I'll think, well, what's going on? And, sometimes it is food and beverage, but sometimes it's lifestyle. I'll even go back through my day and I'm like, wow, I did really good yesterday. I didn't eat any sugars or any processed foods. I didn't have that second cup of coffee and something's off and I'll realize that maybe I'm working too hard or I was sitting around and I skipped my personal yoga practice, which is really what keeps me the most sane of everything I do. So I think that's probably the two indicators for me.
And I think those are huge because even most people, unless their stomach is bloated or they feel super constipated, they don't even notice this connection between digestion and energy and mind clarity. And it's really great that you're looking for those indicators and their connection to digestion. And I love your point that it's not only about food. Sometimes the food can be perfect and we can eat all the right things, but something else in the lifestyle can trigger us or trigger our digestion.
Yeah, and I don't think, I work with like two different sets of people, it seems. I either attract to me the super healthy people and they appear to be doing everything right, yet they're with me. So obviously they're needing help on some level. Or I attracted people who are just really, really unhealthy and they don't know. They're just not educated, how to eat and how to manage their digestive fire. And just to get everyone to understand that, the morning potty is such a powerful diagnostic tool and it's something you're with it every day. It's present, right? So it's not something that will let you get too far away or too far down the path of unhealthy eating. And I do think it's really important, especially for people eating really, really healthy. because you do convince yourself in your mind that you're healthy because you're eating healthy, and maybe you are meditating, and maybe you are doing yoga. But a lot of healthy people are also doing a lot of extreme things, the juicing, the extreme cleanses that are really popular, even some of the tea diets I now see people going on. They appear healthy, but if you're not eliminating first thing in the morning and it's not coming out like it's supposed to come out, there's something wrong with you, or potentially something going to be wrong with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love this one. I don't want to scare anyone. I don't want to scare anyone thinking that if you don't go to the bathroom first thing in the morning, that you have major problems. But it is an indicator the way, for example, if your dog doesn't go to the bathroom in the morning, or if the baby doesn't go to the bathroom the right way, that's the first thing we'll look. So if you take a dog to the vet, the first thing they ask about is about the poop. But as adults, we grow to kind of ignore it and not look at it because it's not necessarily it's not something to be seen. So we're either ashamed or we don't want to look there, but you kind of wash it down without even looking what's happening there. And that's a very disrespectful thing to do to your body, because your body is communicating what's happening. Like, did it like the food? Did it like the lifestyle, or like whatever you were drinking throughout the day? And if you're not looking at the way your body is communicating to you, then how are you going to make a decision? It's only going to be based on external wisdom of somebody else is telling you.
Yeah, or you wait too long. You wait until you start having ruddy skin or acne or dry skin, or you wait until your eyes are, glossy or bloodshot, or you wait until your hair is already thinning or your nails are brittle. And then you might stop to think, wow, there's something wrong with me. But when you're looking at that, now you've probably been out of balance for an extended period of time. So I think to honor, like, every time you use the bathroom, even if you're, urinating, to honor that is an immediate, direct communication. I love that you said communication between, you and your body. And if you're always in connection with that, you can't go that far out of balance.
Yeah. I love that. Totally love it. And I guess another thing that we should mention to the guys, besides looking down the toilet bowl, is look at the tongue, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's another way your body is communicating. And it's another thing that we tend to not look at. But I want to go back to going to the bathroom thing, because I feel like it's super important. And a lot of people are not doing it. So it's either not giving themselves enough time, or kind of not prioritizing it first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Has your bowels been always as regular first thing in the morning?
I'm Vata Pitta. So with Vata dosha, there's a tend to dryness and a tend to constipation.
Okay.
And then, the Pitta gives me a little bit of stability in my system. So I'm more regular than probably someone who is just Vata. But I find, I'm so linked into more the emotional nature. Like, I find if I've stayed up late, or if I've not slept well, the tendency to be too busy, to run, to not rest, to not take care of myself, I find that affects me more than food. And to be fair, I've been living an Ayurvedic lifestyle for 6 or 8 years, like really good. And so my body just knows what to do with food now. Yeah. And I find, I can even eat like nothing great. Like, I can order pizza with my kids and eat that, and I'm still pretty fine. But I do also take certain Ayurvedic herbs every single day as well. And all of those are intended to facilitate, better digestions, the one that I take. And I do eat a lot of ginger as well, which is, a slam dunk for, making sure that you are regular on a daily basis.
Yeah. So I love to kind of pinpoint on everyone. So if somebody is not going to the bathroom first thing in the morning right now, some of the things that can explore is eating ginger or having ginger tea. I think another thing that you mentioned is when we're always in a run, when we have lots of things to do, is we're in a stress response, kind of flight or fight response, and that gets in the way of proper elimination and peristalsis and digestion. So softening from the inside out, relaxing the nervous system, slowing down can be a huge, huge help to improving the regularity. What other things have been helpful to you if you have, for example, a tendency for Vata?
So obviously hydration. So I think that morning glass of water is critical. I've worked with a lot of people who suffer irritable bowel syndrome, and that is one of a little package of quick fixes that you can give that person. So I think that's really, really important. I think a daily dose of triphala, which is a blend of 3 Indian fruits, really. It's a gentle laxative. It's a powerful detoxifier. I think a daily dose of that, especially if you're Vata, just preventatively to take it. Cooking with oils and even drinking oils. So in America, we're a little shy of actually just putting a teaspoon or a tablespoon of oil in our mouth each day and swallowing it. But I start my day off with a little shot, literally, of flax oil. So, I'll put a tablespoon, I'll mix in some orange juice so that, it doesn't taste so bad.
I actually like the taste of flaxseed oil.
You get used to it. I mean, you really do. But to oleate the body every single day, I think is important. A really nice, yummy trick is before you go to bed at night, you could warm up some almond milk and you put in like cinnamons and nutmegs and pour it over a little bit of honey and mix in ghee, which is basically clarified butter, real high quality butter. And that will lubricate the tract. In Ayurveda, if you're not going and it's really gotten bad, they still use a lot of castor oils. They'll still drink sesame oils. It's not uncommon to drink, a quarter cup of oil. And you would imagine if you do that, I mean, you probably are going to eliminate. And 90% of the chance, 99% of the time, really, you do eliminate. One thing people do in America that is really bad for Vata dosha is they'll become dependent on, a product like a Metamucil or something like that to get them to go. And Vatas have to be careful because that actually will aggravate the dosha even further. And then they'll become dependent on it. And it's kind of like a catch-22 you're playing with yourself. So, if you're just miserable, I suggest sometimes a person drinks senna tea because that will facilitate the elimination. But again, you don't want to get dependent on a senna tea. You would just want to use that kind of in that situation where, you're just so miserable.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like there's so many natural ways to do it. I love adding oil everywhere.
And then cooking food. Like people don't think about, eating raw foods. Raw foods are actually hard to digest. So to cook your vegetables, cook your fruits, stabilizing the digestion simply by eating, 3 square meals a day around the same time each day. And then I love everything you were talking about with just stabilizing your routine. That makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and I also think that concept of eating only 3 square meals a day, even if it's 4 square meals a day, it's so much better than grazing throughout the day every hour or every kind of like 2 hours. And one of the things that I noticed for me is when you have 3 square meals per day, it's something that you're actually looking forward to and you're ready to receive the nourishment. You're like, okay, every single cell in my body is ready to take it in. Did you always eat only 3 square meals per day?
I didn't. I was stereotypical Vata where, I get up in the morning and your belly is kind of weak anyway. You don't have a strong appetite. So I would skip breakfast and then I would get busy and it'd be 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and I'd realize I hadn't eaten and I should eat something. So I would grab, tortilla chips and hummus, or, a bag of, grab a bag of like cut up carrots or something. And then you start making dinner and you're starving to death. So you're kind of snacking before dinner as you're cooking dinner, and you would sit down and eat dinner. And then I'd have maybe a snack at nighttime when I was watching TV or something. So that was kind of the old me. And
That's such a huge difference. Tell us about the new you.
I know. And I was just I was always a little sick, like I was a little too thin from not eating. And then if, someone sneezed, or I was with my kids and they picked something up from school, I found that I was just always getting sick. And then when I stabilized, and what stability looks like to me is, I still wake up and I'm not hungry. I don't want to eat breakfast. It's not my nature, but I'll make, warm almond milk with a handful of almonds and some berries, and just even putting a little something in my belly turns that digestive fire on. And I find it's really important, especially to eat within about an hour of rising. So I'll get up in the morning and do whatever it is I do and make sure I get that down within an hour. And then when lunchtime comes around, I'm starving. But if I skip breakfast, I'm not hungry at lunch. So I think for Vata dosha especially, that's really, I think for everyone, quite honestly, it's really important, the breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah. Well,
and no snacking.
Yeah, I think it's quite personal. I agree with no snacking. For example, for me, I like to start my day off the same as you, with a glass of water, and then I usually have fennel tea or peppermint tea or ginger tea, some sort of tea. And then sometimes I can have a tablespoon of either coconut oil or ghee, like licorice ghee. But I eat, and then I do my yoga practice. So I eat probably about 3 hours after I wake up.
Oh, okay.
But I find that it's a matter of like you listening to your body, knowing what works. And if you feel that it doesn't aggravate your nervous system, it doesn't aggravate your blood sugar level, so you're not kind of like shaking, looking for food, then it might work. But I think what's important about this is figuring out your routine and then following that routine. So if you usually eat at 7 in the morning, eat at 7 in the morning. If you eat at 9, eat at 9, but allow for at least a 3-hour period before your lunch, so whatever you ate gets digested. So I think what's important, because we're different people, different things work for us, but we both have a routine, and that helps our digestion get on a routine schedule as well. So it eliminates at the same time and digests the food well. And I think that's what's important for people to establish.
Yeah, and I love that you said that, because, each person is unique. I always find it interesting to work with people who work second shift, because everything kind of flip-flops and changes. And now you're working with a person who really is having to eat at really weird times for the body, but as long as they stabilize it and create some routine out of it, they seem to be okay.
Yes.
I mean, they do it.
And I think our body thrives in a routine. Like, our body loves to be on schedule.
So does our brain.
Yes. So, Pamela, I know you have tons of stuff that you offer to people who are interested in more, and we just started the conversation, so there's so much more to learn. And I definitely want people to look into your Elemental Cleanse program and into your book. And you also, guys, if you order Happy Belly, A Women's Guide to Feeling Vibrant, Light, and Balanced, you will also get one of Pamela's ebook guides. You just need to email your receipt to gifts@Spinach and Yoga. But Pamela, tell us a little bit about the Elemental Cleanse.
Well, the elemental cleanse I created about 7 years ago. I actually did most of my studies through the Chopra Center for Wellbeing, and I came back to, Ohio, where, I mean, 8 years ago, this stuff was totally new. Now it's a little more common, but, at the time, they just were not ready for a total immersion. They needed to be transformed through an experience instead, and kind of tricked into embracing some of these yogi and Ayurvedic habits. So I created the cleanse because it was a great way to get a group of people together and to slowly and powerfully let them experience the transformation in their digestive system and the transformation in their mind, just by embracing, daily gentle movement of yoga and walking, by embracing a transcendental meditation practice, by starting to understand that, we're here on this journey. We were born for a reason. Our life is to have value and meaning. And so much of how we're showing up is based on things from the past and from our fears and worries in the future. So trying to get a person into that state where they can release the past, they can intend for like their most amazing future, and, to show up really a better person every day, so we all have these egoic qualities that get in our way. Like, how do we let the light shine through them the brightest? And then we have a lot of beautiful soul qualities that maybe we're not stepping into. So how do we let those step out a little bit further? And then in the meantime, we're giving up all of the habits that really interfere with our digestive fire and are contributing to our weight gain, or sallow skin, or lack of energy, or inflammation in our body, a lot of fibromyalgias and things like that. And so we embrace basically a Vata routine for week 1, and then we move to Pitta, we move to Kapha, and then we experience an Ayurvedic fast appropriate for all the doshas, which means we're fasting with food that 4th and final week. And at the end of it, their whole life has changed. They just have a sparkle about them. They've lost weight. Most people lose, 10 to 15 pounds in the 28 days. And that's reasonably healthy weight loss. And that's great. Like, a lot of people sign up because they want to lose weight. But what I see more powerful are the shifts that take place in a person's mind, and how they start to understand how they're using food to self-soothe, or, how they're using their past even to self-soothe, right? Yeah. So it's totally transformative. It's not a typical cleanse at all. The purpose of it is to create permanent changes in how you consume food and how you live your life, so that you can, show up that best person. It's really fun.
Yeah. I love that it's so deep and so transformational.
Yeah.
And I love that it also covers my dear topic, digestion. So, Pamela, thank you so much for being with us. The website for Pamela's work and the elemental cleanse is going to be right below the video. And guys, make sure to check out Pamela's website and get your Happy Belly guide, because whenever you get it, you will get over $300 worth of amazing gifts if you email your Amazon receipt to gifts@spinach and yoga. And make sure to subscribe so you have all other Happy Belly interviews. Thank you for being with us.